Okay, now how old are you, Ryan?
I'm 9.
Oh my God! You are 9 years old and you've already built this empire. I heard you have your own toy line. Is that true?
They lie.
Ryan Kaji used to make an insane $36 million a year. What? Let that sink in. Now, he's barely scraping together $3 million. That's not just a drop. It's a financial nosedive straight into the dirt.
When did his movie come out? Oh my God, I remember him promoting that. The last video we watched on Ryan's World, where he looks like way too old to be still making like kids content. They're like, the Ryan's World movie's coming out.
His parents probably thought they were building a dynasty, but instead, they're clutching onto a dying brand for dear life, forcing 13-year-old Ryan to keep playing the role of Ryan's World like a YouTube circus act that should have ended years ago.
Break down Ryan's World from the business side. How big is the team that runs this? And take me through like how you're able to maintain this. Then we'll rewind back to talk about how this all happened.
That's too easy.
This wasn't just a YouTube channel, it was a global empire. In 2019, Ryan's toy sales alone raked in a mind-melting $200 million. The next year, even bigger, $250 million. Walmart, Target, Nickelodeon, Amazon, every major corporation lined up to cash in on this literal child.
Roblox!
Oh my God!
YouTube star Ryan is only 7 years old, but he's already selling out aisles of toys at Walmart and Target like a retail veteran.
But today, it's over. Ryan's World has crashed so hard that even with this gimmick, he can barely pull 6 figures a month.
Check out my new video playing Mario and Luigi Brother Ship. Why? It's an island ship.
Whoa.
Disgusting!
I've got the numbers, the facts, and all the tea to prove how Ryan's parents milked their golden goose dry, wrung every last cent out of his childhood, and are now watching their empire crumble in real time. The numbers says it all, my friend. Their cash cow is out of milk, their empire is on life support, and the internet is done playing along. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Hit that button, not just to boost the algorithm, but to send a message. The more we grow, the more we expose these parents milking their kids' childhood for profit. Let's make sure Ryan gets to be a teenager, not a brand. At his peak, Ryan's YouTube ad revenue was nothing short of insane. In his prime, he was pulling over $36 million a year. That's more than what some A-list celebrities make. But here's the thing, it wasn't YouTube ad revenue that made them rich. By 2020, 60 to 70% of their income came from merchandise sales, meaning
Wait a minute!
Ryan's parents were making millions off kids begging their parents to buy plastic junk with Ryan's face on it. And then they overdid it. They expanded to TV shows, started a movie, partnered with every corporate giant in existence, and slapped Ryan's face on everything they could find.
You guys are doing so many different things. I'm wondering if you could break down the pie chart of Ryan's World in terms of like, you guys have products, you guys have the show. You know, you guys made $30 million last year, reportedly.
Yeah, boy.
Like, you could correct me on that. What does that look like in terms of a breakdown of like what's coming from what?
At some point, it stopped being a fun YouTube channel and started feeling like a massive corporate machine designed to squeeze money out of children. And guess what? People noticed. Numbers don't lie. When you take a hard look at Ryan's World's financial history, it's like watching a once mighty empire trip over a Lego and faceplant into bankruptcy. At its peak in 2022 and 2023, Ryan's brand was raking in a ridiculous $36 million a year, which is $3 million a month just from ad revenue, sponsorships, and merchandise. At that point, Ryan's World wasn't just a YouTube channel. It was a money printing factory run by a 12-year-old in a t-shirt. His parents were probably out here buying gold-plated juice boxes thinking this would last forever. Then came 2024, and for the first time, there was a tiny hiccup. Earnings dropped to $35 million. To us normal people, that's still buy a private island money. But in the business world, a drop is like hearing a weird noise under your car hood. You might be fine, or your entire engine might explode. And explode it did, because then came 2025, the start of the financial apocalypse. That $35 million, poof. Empire, crumbling faster than a cheap IKEA shelf. Ryan's World is now making just $3 million a year, which yes is still a lot, but compared to their peak, it's like watching a billionaire get demoted to middle class. And the monthly numbers, shall we? In January 2025, Ryan's World still managed to scrape together $322,000. Not great, but hey, the lights stayed on. In February, the revenue fell to $167,000. A little concerning, but March, Ryan's expected income is gonna be $104,000. That's not just a dip, that's a free fall off a financial cliff. A year ago, they were pulling in millions per month, and now they're barely making what a mid-tier YouTuber earns from a viral fart prank. The reason? Kids grew up, parents stopped caring, the internet moved on. Ryan's original fan base, the kids who made him famous, are now teenagers who don't want to be caught dead watching toy unboxings. The new generation of kids, they've got too many options now, and Ryan's World, once the king of YouTube, is starting to feel like yesterday's Happy Meal toy, forgotten at the bottom of a car seat. But instead of adapting, instead of letting Ryan become a normal teenager, his parents are gripping this brand tighter than a mom with a Kohl's coupon. They're trying to squeeze every last penny out of a franchise that's been expired longer than milk left out in the sun. And nothing proves that more than the absolute catastrophe of their movie. If you needed,
Like, why a movie? Like so many things that you guys already have a huge audience. What's the most surprising thing that you think YouTubers don't realize about making a feature-length picture?
Never been done before, so we don't know what the outcome is, but we're really optimistic. We feel very excited about it.
One single moment to prove that Ryan's World is on life support? Look no further than their box office disaster, Ryan's World Titan Universe Adventure. Now, when a YouTuber gets big enough, a movie seems like the logical next step. Logan Paul did it. MrBeast basically makes blockbuster level content. Even JoJo Siwa somehow convinced people to buy concert tickets. But Ryan's parents went all in on a movie, and it crashed harder than Windows Vista. On August 16th, 2024, Titan Universe Adventure hit theaters, and to say it flopped would be generous. The movie made a miserable $624,429 worldwide. For comparison, some horror movies filmed in a guy's basement with a $10 budget have done better. And the breakdown, even worse. Domestic earnings was $613,001 and international earnings $11,428. Bruh. Some influencers make that in a single sponsored Instagram post, and the opening weekend numbers was pure sadness. It launched in 1,285 theaters, meaning the Kaji family thought they had a hit on their hands. They were betting the farm on this, probably picturing Titan Universe Adventure as the next Minions. But instead, it only made $419,842 in its first weekend. Nobody showed up, kids didn't care, parents weren't interested. It was an instant ghost town, disappearing faster than Ryan's ad revenue. And here's the cherry on top. This wasn't just a bad movie. It was a Hail Mary attempt to save Ryan's World from irrelevance. Just 6 days after the movie bombed, on August 22nd, 2024, John Yushai published an interview with the Kaji family. The goal? Hype up the brand, sell the Ryan's still relevant dream, but clearly it did nothing. Even with all the PR, all the marketing, and years of brand recognition, Ryan's World couldn't get butts in seats. Why? Because no one wanted to see it. By 2024, Ryan's World had become too corporate, too predictable, and too outdated. The same formula they used in 2018 wasn't working anymore. But instead of accepting that, instead of letting Ryan move on and have a normal life, his parents forced him into a movie, probably hoping it would revive the brand and make it rain money again. Instead, they just proved how irrelevant Ryan's World has become. Ryan isn't a 5-year-old kid opening toy boxes anymore. Loann, Shion, please let that sink in. The dude is 13 now, and instead of being a normal teenager, you're still forcing the poor kid to play the role of Ryan from Ryan's World. Why? Because this is where cultural expectations come into play. Asian families, especially business-focused ones, often expect children to stay loyal to the family business. Quitting isn't an option. The mindset is, if it still makes money, we keep doing it. Doesn't matter if Ryan wants to start a gaming channel or become a normal teenager. His face is the brand and his parents are holding on to it for dear life. Other child stars like JoJo Siwa successfully rebranded. Others like Macaulay Culkin completely walked away from the spotlight. But Ryan, he's stuck in limbo, being forced to play along even as his audience outgrows him. And let's not forget the shady business practices of 2019. Ryan's parents weren't just raking in millions, they were also getting away with some seriously questionable stuff. For years, they were blurring the lines between ads and organic content. Ryan would review toys, but what they didn't always disclose was that a lot of those toys were actually paid sponsorships. Regulators caught on, forcing them to ditch Ryan's toy review and rebrand as Ryan's World, a not so subtle attempt to escape all the bad PR. But the damage was already done. Parents got skeptical. The channel wasn't just a fun space anymore. It was a marketing machine disguised as entertainment. And the biggest problem Ryan's World faces right now? YouTube is now saturated with new content. Parents are pickier about what their kids watch. The toy industry is shifting. Ryan's parents probably thought they could milk this forever, but reality is catching up to them. At some point, you can't just force a brand to stay relevant, and that's exactly what's happening. So what's next for Ryan Kaji? At this rate, his brand is dying, and unless his parents make some serious changes, it's only going to get worse. Will Ryan break away and start his own thing? Will his parents desperately try to rebrand again? Or will Ryan's World become another forgotten YouTube relic like Vine stars who refuse to move on? One thing's for sure, the golden days are gone, and Ryan's parents are feeling the consequences of pushing their son too hard for too long. And honestly, it was bound to happen. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. See you in the next one.